Hey folks, Sean from Swampstick. So currently on our products we sell a black powder coated hook. And at the moment we're just growing, we're still getting bigger. We're finally getting large enough, we're ordering a supplier to kind of do some of this work for us. But at the moment I do a lot of the work myself. So I wanted to create a video to show you how we go from a chrome hook that comes into us from our supplier, which is within our ballpark range, to one of these black powder coated hooks. And I want to just highlight our process. This is in no means a how-to to powder coat at home. I am not a professional at this. This is just the process I worked out through a lot of time on YouTube. But I figured it'd be cool to show some of our viewers how we do this ourselves. All right, walking through some of our equipment, just so you understand what we're doing here. So for actually powder coating, you're going to need your air compressor. So for this one, I'm just using a 6-gallon compressor. And we're running really right around 40 psi for our blowing system. And then we've just got a simple central machine powder coating machine from Harbor Freight. So not too pricey, something pretty simple. On it, it tells you what the range and the maximum psi are. So we got to dial down to 30 psi for this. For our powder coating booth, we're actually just running, as much as a joke as it is a box. And we've got a steel tray in it that we're using the grounding to be able to ground so that you can use the electricity to apply the dried paint to the sides of the metal. And then even more interesting, this is what we're doing our powder coating in. So it is honestly a old smoker that was a digital smoker I found on the side of the road. I removed all the electronics from it, ordered an analog just heating element for it that's able to pull a lot more current through it to get it up to about 450 degrees, and then put in just a manual temp on the outside of it. So very simple setup, but this is essentially what we're doing our powder coating with, and this is what we're doing to help keep prices low and until we can get larger to get suppliers that are capable of meeting our volumes at a reasonable price for our customers. All right, folks, so when our parts come in, they actually come pre-bagged in packs of 10. They come with a little label on them that actually leaves like a sticky residue. And so before we go and can take the chrome finish off, we've got to get these little labels off. So we're just running a simple acetone bath. It breaks down the... Close this guy up. Now we let it sit for a little bit. Okay, so we have cleaned our parts. Got these guys removed the labels, ready to go. We got to get that chrome finish off now before we move to our next phase. So what we've got here is a vibration tumbler. I'm running a mixture of larger aggregates in here. They're like a ceramic piece, as well as some glass grit that will help take that coating off. So we'll toss these in here. Nothing too special. And kick it on. And so I'm going to actually kick it on so you guys can kind of see how it moves initially, but it does kick up a lot of dust. And so we're going to end up putting the lid on this guy, and we will let it run for the rest of the night into tomorrow. And then tomorrow we'll pull them out and move into the next phase of cleaning them. So there's a few options here for taking off the powder coating. And so what I've chosen is the vibration tumbler just because it's easier on my part. I'm not in here trying to clean every part individually. Another option would be getting like a sandblasting machine to be able to do this. But for me, it's a little bit easier if I'm running this as a static process where I kind of kick it on, let it go, and go do something else. All right, so day 2, we can pull these guys open. It's been about 24 hours they've been in there, maybe a little less. And as you can see, we're looking at some it looks like just dust-covered parts. But we'll get these cleaned up here and be able to check them out a little bit more. Alright folks, so we have our hooks out of the tumbler now. As you can see, they've got kind of this coating on them. That's from our glass substrate that we're using to help pull off that chrome finish. So we got to get these things washed off. So we've just got kind of like a mild soap solution. We'll spray them down, give them a quick scrub, and then we're going to toss them in an acetone solution real quick to wipe off any other type of residue or oils that are on there before we get them into our powder coater. So that way we have a good base to start with. Alright folks, so we started with our chrome hook. We're trying to get to our black powder. We just took our parts out of the tumbler. We've taken off that chrome finish, and then we've cleaned them so that we get that nice clean surface to be able to powder coat to. We're getting ready to run our powder coater now. So got a respirator on, some eye shields, gloves. We're just trying to work through this stuff the best that we can. Especially since we're doing a lot of this outside to help keep some of the air cleaner as well. So let's get to powder coating. So I actually stopped the camera there for a little bit. We had the bulb on the end of our air input break, so you can see it's cracked right there. It's just kind of a filter system that runs through and then that goes into our powder coating. So I'm going to take a break, try and fix this, and then we will get rolling right back on this again. Alright, so you guys can see this thing's cracked pretty good there. I've already JB welded it a couple times, and it continues to crack. It's just a plastic part, and running a heavy hose on it, it breaks quite a bit. I'm going to have to go get a new one of these. So, for today, it's gone. So what I did do is, luckily I have a bunch of these fittings in the back, and I was able to find a fitting that will match the end here. So we're just going to skip that little filter that runs in there, which is not preferred, but I do have a filter on my compressor, so we're kind of filtering the air twice. And we'll just bypass that and get the new fitting on. Direct connect in. And we'll get going. Alright, so we've got all our little hooks in here. We are good spraying now, so now we've got to just close this guy up and start baking our powder paint. And away she goes. So the way this is going to work, the paint that we're using, we purchased from the powder paint store. They're actually out of Texas. And so on here, when you get this paint ordered, it tells you on the front of it what we're using. So we're using a wrinkle black, and it tells us the cure time is 12 minutes at 400 degrees. And that's part temp. So what that means is we not only have to get our box up to 400 degrees, but then we have to get it there for the parts to get to 400 degrees. So for me, this takes a couple hours, but we will go from there and let it roll and keep moving. All right, just a status update here. So we are about half an hour into baking, and you can see we're right around 425 for the air temp inside the box. So like I mentioned before, we got to get it up to part temp. So for my system, from what I've been able to check out, we're probably going to need about another 15 minutes or so for the parts to get up to temp, just because of where we're going to, and then we should be good to get going on this, and then it turns into the countdown. Stay tuned for updates. All right, so we're done baking, temp's down. Let's check these guys out. And they're looking pretty good, so we can see that they are nice, black, and powder coated. Like and subscribe for more, and we'll keep doing some videos of how we do this type of stuff. Thanks, guys.